Welcome to the pop culture news here on The Experience. Now, there is an absolute ton of stuff to cover today, so let's jump right in. Now, let's start with casting director Francine Maisler. She was featured on a panel at the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival over the weekend in the Czech Republic. Um, and she fascinated the audience for about 90 minutes, telling stories about the different actors she has cast and stuff like that. I mean, 30 years in the industry, she's got a lot of great stories. But she said one of the actors that really stood out to her is Lady Gaga, and who will be appearing in the upcoming Todd Phillips Joker Foie Deux, now, which is rumored to make its debut at the Venice Film Festival. Now, she said, she's so good in it, you guys. She's going to blow your mind. I didn't suggest Lady Gaga. It wasn't my idea. That was Todd Phillips before me. But I will tell you, she's really surprising and really good. I saw it and I was really surprised. I mean, we all knew what she could do in A Star is Born, but I thought, oh, well, that's kind of in her wheelhouse, something she could do and just be real. But this, man, she's good. Joaquin blows your mind, but that she could keep up with him and be real and not just wiped off the screen by what the role is and what the performance is shows she's good. Now, Joker Foie Deux will be released in theaters October of this year, so just coming up. Moving on, a report circulating around the entertainment websites is saying the planned Arkham Asylum series that was in the work from Staircase creator Antoine Campos is no longer moving forward at Max for now. Now, this is all kind of confusing, as this originally was supposed to be part. First it was greenlit by the previous regime before James Gunn and Peter Safran came in. It's being produced by Matt Reeves and was supposed to tie in to the Batman, just like the Penguin TV series is. But then later word is that James Gunn and Peter Safran came on board, and suddenly the Arkham project is going to be part of the DCU instead. So that gets real confusing right there. But however this turns out, now Gunn said that this series was the first thing they approved when they signed on, but it had already been approved by the previous regime. So again, this whole thing is confusing. But I'd say as for now, there is no Arkham series, but it sounds like there might have been two of them. I don't know. I'd love to see James Gunn come and straighten that one out. All right, moving on to, it's been 18 years since Aaron Stanford was asked to play with fire, basically. Um, and he's as excited as anyone to return to the X franchise after his last appearance as Pyro in X-Men The Last Stand, all the way back in 2006. Now, his character, the fire manipulating mutant, was one of the earliest confirmed returns for Deadpool and Wolverine because he appeared during the Super Bowl trailer. Now, the actor says at first he was shocked and thrilled when he got the call to return. He knew something was up because his agent kept getting a call from Marvel Studios asking about his availability. Actually, multiple calls. Now he was not the original Pyro, and people forget this. That was actually Alex Burton, who cameoed in the first X-Men film. But Stanford was brought in for X2 when the part was expanded quite a bit. Now, he was certain he wasn't going to get the role at the time. So he didn't take it too seriously when he auditioned, which he believes now is exactly why he got the part. With his return, though, he's getting something that he had really wanted previously and didn't get: a costume. In the previous one, he was basically in his pajamas for most of the movie because of the way the film played out. But now he gets his own costume, and we'll be seeing him in Deadpool and Wolverine debuting on July 26th. Now, don't expect this to be the last time we see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together, just maybe not in a Marvel thing. While the two were out promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, um, they did talk about the fact that they may join up again in a non-superhero film. Reynolds told Entertainment Weekly, "We have one we're looking to do. I would say that ours is like any relationship that is successful and works. It's that two parties are rooting for each other. I'm always rooting for Hugh to score and win. I always know the infinite nuance of his heart and his mind and who he is. I can say firsthand that he's a person who's not just worth rooting for, he's somebody who's impossible to not root for." Now, they were on tour over in Shanghai to promote the film with director Sean Levy. Now, this is the first time that a Deadpool movie is going to be released day and date with the American release. The only other Deadpool movie to actually be released in China was the um, cut version they did. So the PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2 they did, and that's the only one that China allowed to be released. So this is the first time they're not only doing that, but they're taking the film pretty much as is. I believe they've asked for a few of the violent scenes to be toned down, but other than that, it's pretty much what we're getting here. Moving on to the character of Alex Cross has tried and was somewhat successful in the box office 3 times, but not quite on the level of, say, Jack Ryan. Now, in the first two, the characters were played by Morgan Freeman in Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. Now, the second one, which didn't do nearly as well, the role was taken on by Tyler Perry in a movie they simply called Alex Cross. Now, the films, like I said, they didn't really catch the attention, but now the franchise, which is based on the novels by James Patterson, are kind of following in the same steps as John Clancy's Jack Ryan and Lee Child's Jack Reacher, and are moving to Prime Video, where they hope to have similar success. The new series will feature Aldous Hodge as the titular police detective forensic psychologist, and Prime has already greenlit a second season. So they're putting a lot of effort behind this. Now, Hodge is a veteran of multiple television series, including Leverage and City on a Hill. Also, he jumped to the big screen as Hawkman in Black Adam. But the 37-year-old actor has been working regularly for almost 3 decades. His very first appearance was as Raymond in the 1995 Die Hard with a Vengeance, where at the age 7, he and his older brother worked opposite of Samuel L. Jackson. Now, Cross is set to debut on Prime on November 14th. Another Prime story here. Prime Video is planning another big splash for The Lord of the Rings of Power at San Diego Comic-Con. They did this 2 years ago and got a big hit out of it. Well, this year, the streamer will host an exclusive press and influencer reception by invitation only on Thursday in San Diego. It'll be followed by the Rings of Power panel in Hall H on Friday, which will feature the showrunners J.D. Payne, Patrick McKay, as well as cast giving fans an inside look at the second season. Then at 1:45 at Venue 808, there's a fan meet and greet with the cast, which will be held in conjunction with the official Lord of the Rings fan site, theonering.net. And what they'll have as on display will be a bunch of curated collection of costumes and props from the second season. Now, the second season, if you're wondering, will premiere on August 29th. Disney dropped the first trailer for Agatha All Along, the WandaVision spinoff centered on Catherine Hahn's Agatha Harkness character. Now, the series picks up with Harkness, who had been defeated by Wanda, played by Elizabeth Olsen, of course, stripped of her magical powers and destined to live out her life as Agnes of Westview. Now, the logline for this reads, the infamous Agatha Harkness finds herself down and out of power after the suspicious goth teen helps break her free from this distorted spell. Her interest is piqued when he begs her to take him on the legendary Witch's Road, a magical gauntlet of trials that, if survived, rewards a witch with what they're missing. Together, Agatha and the mysterious team pull together a desperate coven and set off down, down, down the road. Now, the trailer shows some odd changes have happened. It looks like Agatha is actually working as a police detective at this point, and there's a murder. It's very dark looking. I was surprised at just how dark it looks. And obviously, the goth teen is the character played by Joe Locke, which most people assume is Wanda's son Billy. But I don't know. He might be Wiccan, but we'll have to see. Now, so the show, of course, stars Catherine Hahn, Joe Locke, Shashir Samata, Ali Hahn, Maria Dezia, Paul Edelstein, Miles Gutierrez Riley, Akwui Akpakwasili, Deborah Jo Rupp, Patty Lapone, and of course, Aubrey Plaza. Agatha's All Along's first 2 episodes will premiere on September 18th, starting at 6 p.m. on Disney+. So, and finally, our last story is if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, and more specifically Norman Reedus, who has played Daryl Dixon for 15 years, well, as he's preparing for the season 2 of the Daryl Dixon show, or Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, he was talking to, or he was interviewed and was asked about, how long he could see. And he talked maybe 5 or 6 more years. But what he said was, the Daryl Dixon spinoff has given me an opportunity to take the show in a direction that's different to the original show. I didn't want to make the same show again in a different location. I wanted to reinvent it, and they let me, with other like-minded people involved, invent something new. So it feels fresh to me. It's in a different language. It's shot in a different way. It's not really about zombies and who's going to get bit this week. It's completely different. So as long as I keep reinventing it, it's fun. So expect to see Daryl around for a while, as long as people keep watching, I think. Season 2 is set to premiere September 29th on AMC. That's a lot of great shows coming up. Alex Cross, Agatha, Lord of the Rings Season 2, or the Rings of Power Season 2, Daryl Dixon. I mean, this is just a bunch of great stuff. Plus, we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. This is pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. That is the news for today, but stick around. Today, we've got a Minute to Skim It with Miss Jen, Kyle, and Jay. Hopefully, Jay, if he's out from under the water. That'll be the reviewing of this week's new comics. And then, of course, kicking it on with Henri this evening. So stick around for that. I will see you all later. Have a great time.